Jelle Geens, 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 Jelle Geens.
Yo guys and girls, so I'm doing my warm-up at the moment, 30 minutes warm-up. Later I have a session to do and I'm planning to do something I'm quite excited about. I'm gonna
take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna
test 3 different types of carbon plate shoes, and according to me or what I can find online, it's the 3 best carbon plate shoes around. So I will test Nike's Next Percent, the Saucony's Endorphin Pro, and the new Nike's Alphaflys. So my set is 4 by 30 seconds in 2 minutes, 10 by 75 seconds on 230, 4 by 30, 2 minutes. And the plan is to do the first 4 by 30 seconds and the first 2 75 seconders with the Next Percent. Then I'll do four of the 75 seconds with the Sauconys, next 4 with the Alphaflys, and then I think I'm gonna go back to the Sauconys for the last 30 seconds to feel the difference between them. And yeah, I'll give you guys my thoughts about all 3 of the shoes, and I'm excited about it. Like, I'm really curious what shoe is like, what's the difference between all the shoes and what my feet think about them. And yeah, I'll give you guys my thoughts later during the session. See ya.
Before all these bags came in, I would stay up all night praying, hoping I can help my people. Now that I do, everything changed.
So I first started running with the Next Percent. I already did some races with these, so I was a bit familiar with them. You can immediately feel the difference with the shoes I warmed up with, which are the Saucony Rides, without a plate of course, and then these ones which have a plate, and you can definitely feel the energy of getting absorbed in the carbon plate and the foam around and returning it back to you. And it really makes you move forward, it makes you run on your toes. I really like this shoe. I've done some good races in it, and yeah, the carbon plate shoes is such a revolutionary in running shoes and racing shoes, and this one is, yeah, we can maybe a bit say it's old but gold.
We can pop shit, you talking hot shit, but you ain't about that.
Next I ran with the Saucony Endorphin Pro. It took Saucony a while to get the carbon plate shoe, but I'm very surprised on how good this shoe is. I think they did a lot of research and took a lot of time and money in designing this shoe. It's a very good racing shoe. I think the carbon plate maybe even a bit stiffer than the Next Percent. You could feel the Next Percent maybe had a bit more of the floppy feeling, where it like bends and then returns your energy. With the Saucony it maybe was a bit less of this bending because it's maybe a bit stiffer, the carbon plate, but overall it felt really amazing to run it. I could easily hit like the 245 paces per K. In theory these shoes are, I think, around 30 to 40 grams per shoe heavier compared to the Next Percent, which is not really noticeable. I felt like I could maybe notice it more with the Alphaflys. They are even a bit more heavy. But the Sauconys, well, maybe when you hold both shoes, you can maybe feel a bit difference in weight, but during the run it was not really noticeable. I also really like the look of the Sauconys. The color scheme of the shoes are, like, in my eyes, very nice, and they look a bit more like a real running shoe and less futuristic than the Nikes, and especially the Alphaflys. And I think in design they definitely are the nicest of the 3.
in my vein like vernacular. Cook up the beat with a spatula. Y'all are not ready for action. I'm smoking these rappers and feeling spectacular. Making a killing like massacre. Watch out, I'm whipping my wrist. Right on my city, been pissed, but I show them love. I'm not the one that's a risk.
Last but not least, I ran with the Alphaflys. I've never ran with them and they only actually arrived today. The design is very peculiar, but yeah, a bit of futuristic look, but I actually also like that. It's a bit harder to put them on. It's quite narrow fit, so might lose a bit of seconds in transition. Yeah, they're definitely not the fastest in transition, that's for sure. But yeah, I'll need some more testing on this to maybe find a way to put them on very quick as well. The thing that's different between these Alphaflys and the NEXT and the Sauconys is that they have air cushion in the forefoot, which maybe you can feel a bit, gives you a bit more of extra return, especially if you, I think, of landing on your forefoot, which I do quite a bit, especially on the higher speeds. I do feel they're maybe a bit clumsy, especially if you have to take corners. If it's a very cornery course, like I maybe don't think these shoes are the best. And the Alphaflys are the heaviest of the three. They're, I think, around 50 grams, maybe 40-50 grams heavier than the NEXT and 10 to 20% heavier than the Sauconys, which is actually not that much, but this time you could actually feel it. And for the last 4 by 30 seconds I switched back to the Sauconys, and this was something that I definitely felt, like the Alphafly is a bit heavier than the Saucony, and when putting the Sauconys on, like you could feel like your feet felt like the feet were a bit lighter. I had a lot of fun today testing all these three kind of carbon plate shoes, and if you think back about, when was it, 3 years ago, when everyone wanted to have the lightest shoe with barely any sole, and now you have like a bit heavier shoes with all these new features like carbon plates and now also airbags. Like, it's such a evolution, and I really like it, and I think the manufacturers did a great job. Then for my conclusion, I would say for races up to sprint, so super sprint, mixed relay, or just a sprint race where you have to run 5K, I think I would prefer at the moment the Sauconys. They're very easy to fit on compared to the Alphafly, especially. They're light, they feel really reactive. I had today actually a very good feeling in these shoes. The NEXT are, I would say, very close, a close second in these shorter races. Maybe also because the Sauconys are new and I want to test them in the race, and that's why I would take these now for the shorter races. And on Saturday I have a super sprint, and I'm pretty sure I will run with the Sauconys. Then from Olympic distance and further, if you would do a half Ironman or Ironman, I think Alphaflys are definitely up there, and I think I need a bit more testing to really figure out the shoe and really have a good feeling with the shoe. It was probably also a bit short now, only 4 by 75 seconds with the Alphaflys. I think yeah, you might lose a couple seconds in transition. That's why I don't recommend them for the shorter stuff. But once like, or if transition is not that important for you, or once the distance is getting longer and the 2 seconds loss in transition might not be that big of a problem, the Alphafly is definitely up there, and I will definitely like try them out in race and maybe a bit more in training as well. I really like the design of them, but I think some more testing is needed. Overall, I'm actually very satisfied and happy with the Sauconys. They did an amazing job, and I think for now that's the one I will use for the upcoming races.